Hello and welcome back to TorontoWebsiteDeveloper.com. I am Peter Worski, the Toronto Website Developer, and in this 8th video tutorial, I want to show you how we can create a dialog for your Android app so that we can reset the scores. It'll be a small pop-up which will have a positive and a negative button that users can click on. But before we do that, you notice I'm at TorontoWebsiteDeveloper.com. Here on my site, you can purchase my video tutorial series at my store. Each is $20 and go to help me to continue to develop these, keep them free, keep them frequent. Alternatively, if you can't afford the $20 but do want to give back, please just leave a thumbs up or comment on YouTube. Both are greatly appreciated and they help me to promote these video tutorials. With all of that said, why don't we jump back into the code? As I mentioned, we're going to create a dialog box. But before we do that, what we need to do is actually add our menu back so that we have something that we can actually click on. And so this video is going to be two parts. First is going to be adding the menu back, and then we're going to take a look at actually creating the dialog. So if you're comfortable with the menu, just skip forward to about the 5-minute mark. First thing we're going to do is go into the Android manifest for our app, and you'll see that there's reference to this Android theme. We're going to take that out because we don't need that. Really, that's what's kind of hiding our menu right off the bat based on the defaults that were set up by Android Studio when we created this. So it's the easiest way to get our main menu back. So with that out, what I'm going to do is actually open up the main menu XML file. And to make this a little bit easier to read, we'll add some line breaks here. And so this file was created, as I mentioned, in one of the first video tutorials, probably number 1, where we actually created this app. And so Android Studio created this file for us. And with it, we have one item. And so this is right now a settings item, but I'm just going to change this to be reset scores. Reset score, I guess. Copy that. And then in the title here, it's going to be the same thing. Action reset score. And the show as action will be always, because we want to see it. Now I have to go into my strings and I have to add string name equals reset high score. High score. We'll just call it reset score. So now we have that. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add two methods, which are overridden methods, which actually first create the menu, second respond to the menu being clicked. And so in order to do that, I'm going to copy some code and we can just walk through it in the essence of time. So underneath my on pause, I'm going to add my on create, and it's not a context menu. I'm sorry, I copied the wrong code here. So not context menu, I need to grab this code. So I'm just going to take this guy out, paste this guy. And this is going to be menu main. So as you'll see, on create options menu is the method that's overridden. It takes in a menu object, which is menu, and it's going to grab an inflator and it's going to inflate that menu. And we're giving it the r.menu.menu main ID, and that corresponds to our XML file here. So that's where that's coming from. And we're passing in the menu that actually comes from the on create options menu as the second parameter. We're going to return true. Now what we need is a method to respond to items in that menu being clicked. And so again, copying some code here, pasting it in, Alt Enter to bring in our missing classes. You can see here we're overriding on menu options item selected. And again, we're going to take in an item. Because we don't know what item we're getting, and this could be a whole host of items, we have a switch statement that's going to go through and it's going to grab the ID and it's going to look to see which item was actually clicked. I only have one, so I'm just going to remove the second case there. And this ID is going to be action reset scores. I don't know why I have two. What did we do in the main menu? Action reset score. So here, this would be where we show our dialog. And yep. And so we're going to pause here because we're going to actually test this to make sure that this works properly. So here on my emulator, you'll see that the screen kind of looks a little bit different. We used to have a white background, now we have a darker background. And we now have Mathlete Tutorial, which is our app name, and this nice 3 dots. And when we click on the dots, you'll see that we get reset score. And nothing happens because we haven't coded anything. So now we're going to actually create our dialog. And in order to do that, I guess we can just go ahead and paste it in right here. And so again, I'm going to just refer to some code here. What we're going to do is grab an alert dialog, and we want a builder. That's the type of object we're going to have. And so we're going to have a builder. And we're going to get a new, and this is alert, dialog, builder, and we're going to pass in this activity because it needs to know what it's going to be acting on. And so because we're in an activity, we can pass it to it. And so that's why we're passing this. Obviously, if you're in an activity, you want to, I think there's a method like get activity or that kind of thing, and you want to use that. So with the builder, just like with the menu inflator and other methods, we need to actually, and just like toasts actually are probably the best example, we have this builder, we now have to build up our notification. And so it's really easy to do based on the inherent defaults based from Android. In the next video tutorial, I'll show you how we can customize this. But for now, we're just going to use the layout that's provided. And so first thing we need to do is call set message. And so in order to set the message, we need to pass in a string. And so we're going to pass in a string, r.string dot reset scores, reset score. And so we should obviously add that. And so this is going to be string name equals reset score. Are you sure you want to reset your high score? Okay. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and set the positive button. And you'll see that it can take in an int for text ID, and then it takes a listener, or it can take in a string in a listener. And so we're going to pass in an ID. And so r.string dot, we'll say yes, and then we'll pass in our stuff. So here we'll just say string name equals yes, yes. And while we're here, we might as well go ahead and create string name equals no. Okay. Now that we have those, we need to create our dialog interface listener. And so we're going to pass in a new dialog interface on click listener. And you'll see by hitting enter, Android Studio automatically populates this for us, but we need to override one method, which is the on click. And so the interface obviously makes you do this because every action could be different for different apps. And so here, what we're going to do for now is we'll just call make toast and we'll just say resetting, just so that we know that this is working. And we'll obviously fill that in after. Next thing we need to do is set a negative button. And so it's going to be the same thing, r.string.no, new, no, didn't want to fill it in, dialog interface on, yeah, show it up there, on click listener. Of course, doesn't want to actually populate it for us, so we'll just go ahead and copy these lines. And we're just going to say canceling, and we'll close that up. So last thing we need to do is take the builder and call create on it, just like the toast, and then you probably guessed it, we got to call show. And so we're going to run that and see what this looks like. So we're going to go ahead and click on our menu here. We're going to reset the score. Are you sure you want to reset your high score? Yes, no. We're going to click yes, and we see resetting. And obviously we'll test out the no part, and we'll see canceling. So that's great. So now, instead of just making the toast, we have to go ahead and update our high score. So high score is going to be equal to 0, and that's not enough. We actually have to go ahead and scroll down. We'll take this guy, high score.setText. We'll paste that in there. Now that's going to set the text back to 0. Our high score is going to be 0. We're resetting. Here we're canceling. So we'll just call this reset the high score. And really this should be taken out of here. And in strings here, we're going to say string equal to score reset. Your score, your high it's been reset. Okay. And then we might as well create another one, which is going to be string score reset cancel. Canceled, resetting your high score. Something like that, whatever, it doesn't really matter. And I don't need quotes in here. So we have score reset, cancel. And I think this is like, what is this method? I think this method is get string. So get string r.string ID score reset. And it's not cancel, this guy. And so we'll make the toast here. And we're going to pass in score reset cancel. And the reason why we call get string here is because this actually refers to an int. And so our make toast actually requires a string. So that's why I call get string, and it will actually give me the value. If I didn't, if I did something like string.value of, this would just return a big integer. And so that doesn't actually help us. So that's why we call get string. So now we can go ahead and test this. So you'll see our high score is 1. We'll go here and we'll reset our score. Yes. And so your score has been reset. Our high score is now 0. And that's it. That's how the dialogues work. As I mentioned in the next video tutorial, I'll show you how we can actually customize that lookout, much like we did with toast messages. But for now, that's the default implementation. Maybe it's all that you need. Hopefully this video tutorial helped you. Just as a brief recap, went ahead, added the menu by removing the theme in the Android manifest. We updated our 2 method calls, which were overridden, to actually inflate our menu and then respond to a menu item being clicked. From there, went ahead and implemented the dialog using the dialog builder. We set a positive message, negative message, and we responded to our on clicks using an anonymous class. And with that, our video tutorial is done. Hopefully this helped you. Please, again, leave a comment or a thumbs up if it did. Hopefully we'll see you for tutorial number 9. Thanks very much for watching.